And now we're going to hear from Ms. Rovon Wells, who you're talking about dignity and grace personified. Said, my son is an assignment from God. Let that sink in. Your son being sacrificed, his life, so that we can have a greater chance at justice for all. That's right. Ms. Rovon Wells will now address you. Give her a big round of applause.
Hello. Thank you all for coming and showing support for my family and my son. I really appreciate everything everyone is doing. My son is looking down, smiling, because, you know, it's funny. He always said he was going to be famous one day. I didn't know this is how he was going to, this is what he meant, but if... I really don't know what else to say right now. I've said so many things in the last few days, and really I want to say I've never seen the video, but what I've heard is very horrific, very horrific. And any of you who have children, please don't let them see it.
Ask for prayer. That's right. You can just ask for prayer, and that'll be good.
Okay. I just want to ask for prayer for my family, for this whole community. Right. And I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, you also disgraced your own families when you did this. But you know what? I'm going to pray for you and your families, because at the end of the day, this shouldn't have happened.
No, that's right.
This just shouldn't have happened. And we want justice for my son. Justice for my son.
Justice for Tyre.
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 I just want to thank everybody again for coming. I have a lot of words that I want to say, but they're just not coming out right.
No, you're fine.
And I still haven't had time to grieve yet. I'm still dealing with the death of my son. This was not supposed to happen. My son was supposed to be with me today. I'm gonna always know that I'll always be with him, because I told everyone he has a tattoo of my name on his arm. My son loved me to death, and I loved him to death.
Yes.
And so this is very difficult for me. I'm sorry if I'm not articulating myself a little bit better.
No, you're doing fine.
But no mother should go through what I'm going through right now. No mother to lose their child to the violent way that I lost my child. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we will try to take your questions, and then we will have a prayer for peace from Bishop Williamson. Yes, sir. And Attorney Ramanucci, you can be prepared.
When you hear
My heart just breaks, sir. For a mother to know that their child was calling them in their need and I wasn't there for him. Do you know how I feel right now? Because I wasn't there for my son. I was telling someone that I had this really bad pain in my stomach earlier, not knowing what had happened. But once I found out what happened, that was my son's pain that I was feeling. And I didn't even know. But for me to find out that my son was calling my name and I was only feet away and did not even hear him, you have no clue how I feel right now. No clue.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and we'll try to limit the questions for Ms. Wells, and we'll try to take all of them. You asked, why hasn't it changed? Well, you know, we have been dealing with racism and discrimination in America, and, you know, racism across the world for hundreds of years. And it's going to have to be intentional, being able to disseminate, deconstruct racism and bias. And as I said, it is the institutionalized police culture. It's not just the police culture, it's the justice system. We have bias in every aspect of society. And so you don't see officers doing this to white citizens because our court system has said that they value white life more than any other life. And so we finally have to speak truth to power on these issues to say the reason why we keep seeing it happen to black and brown people is because it is the culture in this society that we can marginalize brown and black people, that we can trample on the constitutional rights of black and brown people. And that's why we have to continue to say, no, it's not equal justice for some, it's equal justice for all. Yes, they have a right as any American citizen to have a reasonable bail because they are presumed innocent and to proven guilty. We don't want to change any of the standards because they are black police officers. Whatever has been done for other officers who were not black, who committed these crimes on video, well, it should be equal justice. Everybody is presumed innocent and to proven guilty in America.
Attorney Crump, Mike Magazine. I understand that this is not the first time that this has happened in the city of Memphis. Moving forward, how do you think the police department can be swept clean?
Well, you know, I'm going to ask my co-counsel, Attorney Ramanucci, and Attorney Turner to speak to those matters. Tony, from a national standpoint about these specialized units, and then Attorney Turner about here in Memphis.
So your question was, how do we clean this up? Yeah.
How do you clean up the police department moving forward?
Well, you have to start with swift activity. And the swift activity is the call out to stop and disband this unit. And then from there, going in and restoring trust. Well, how do you restore trust? How about real community policing as opposed to suppression and racist policing? That's where you have to start. But let me tell you how your question matches the gentleman's question in the front row. Why do we see this continuing to happen? I'll give you two reasons. It's a two-way street. The community wants it, but the other side doesn't want it. The unions don't want it. This is like a carnival. You see this strong man trying to hit the target and ring the bell, and it's a rigged game? Well, we try to ring the bell, but we can't because it's rigged. Until we start reform with municipalities and the union contracts, where real reform is baked in, that's when you'll start seeing real changes. Number two, call out the lawmakers in Washington who failed on the George Floyd Police Reform Act. Call them out. You want change? We need federal change, not only state change.
Well said. Well said, Attorney Ramanucci. Yes, Sarah?
I have two questions. One is for you or your co-counsel about, we have heard from people who have talked about the scorpion unit, and I'm curious if they have said that they will purposely send black officers to certain areas because they can, quote, treat people any kind of way. When they're the same color, there won't be the same light on them. So I want to hear if you've heard the same thing from some of the people you've been talking to. And I have a question, and then I have a segue so we can speak again, because I know this is so far from you. But for Rick as well, can you tell us, did your son come to your home on a nightly basis on his break to come and have food, a meal with you and his father?
What? No, let's let her answer.
Well,
Well,
this happened.
let's get you for the mic. And
This particular incident happened on the weekend. Tyre and his dad, they work for FedEx. They both work second shift, and they come home for lunch every day at 7 o'clock. I would have dinner cooked, they would eat, hang out, and go back to work. Well, now my husband is coming home every day, but not my son. So,
Was he on his way home, just he was off that day?
it was a Saturday. He was coming from Shelby Farms for about the time of the incident because he liked to go and watch the sunset and take pictures. That was his thing. My son loved the sunsets. That was his passion. He loved photography. He loved skateboarding. He was just his own person, you know. He didn't follow what everybody else was doing. I tried to buy him a pair of Jordans one time, and he, oh, Mama, I want those. He wants some Vans, you know. So I'm just telling you guys, my son was a beautiful soul. He was a good boy. No one's perfect, but he was damn near. He was close to the home. Yes. He was scared for his life. And just what I thought, like I said, I didn't see the video, but everyone asked me what I thought happened. And I told them, the TBI people and everybody. And I told them, now you proved me wrong.
And she said that before she knew about the video, just from seeing the photograph that they took in the hospital.
Yes.
Seeing him in the hospital that next day with his head swelled up, they said beyond recognition, and his neck swollen.
Broken.
Yeah,
So,
thank you. I think briefly to try to respond to the first part of your question, as Attorney Ramanucci said, the police chief should disband the Scorpion unit immediately. I am sad to even think that what you said is true, that they would use African-American officers to go berate African-American citizens because they thought it would get less attention. We know that other citizens have now come forward to my office saying that their constitutional rights were violated by this Scorpion unit and that they actually tried to report them and nothing happened. So, you know, we cannot give anybody a pass on our constitutional rights, on our dignity, on our humanity. It doesn't matter if it's a black police officer or a white police officer. And that's what hurts so bad, because you want them to see the humanity in us, and you keep thinking to yourself, these officers got to understand that, you know, that could have been your brother, your little brother. Tyre could have been your little brother. Would you want anybody to do what you were doing to Tyre to your little brother? And that's how you have to think about it. That what if this was my family member? Hopefully every police officer in America would start thinking when they interact with a citizen, what if this was my brother or my sister or my child? That's what we want. We want compassion and respect. The same way you de-escalate with white citizens, well, de-escalate with black citizens too. We all want to get home to our families. We want you to get home to your family, and we want to get home to our mama. We'll take a few more yes, and then let's go quick. Yes, ma'am.
The activists is really the ones that's out there bringing attention to the situation. And myself personally, in this field, have been pushed off by, legal team, knowing that I'm standing for the families, and even talking to other activists to actually stand for these families and actually are being a voice out there. What do you tell them whenever they're the ones out there fighting for the family and to be pushed off and not to be, heard?
Well, one of the first things I always try to do, and Silky and Kareem and a lot of people who are activists end up working for my law firm, because when you have a commitment to justice, that's what we want to be about. And I always want to thank the activists. Every press conference, the first thing I do is come and thank the activists, because without you all, we wouldn't be at this point. Nobody was talking about justice for Tyre like Kareem Ali and you all. I mean, yeah, I kept saying there's something going on with this, Attorney Crump, and I want to applaud you all privately and publicly, because without you all, we wouldn't get justice for Tyre, we wouldn't have got justice for George Floyd, we wouldn't have got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we wouldn't get justice for Breonna Taylor. Without the activists serving as our co-counsels, there's no way we can get justice. So we thank all the activist community.